Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to FM24 Youth Factory, episode number 50, half century mark here. We have drawn our Papa John's Trophy group. Forest Green, MK Dons, both in League 2. Forest Green actually just beat us in a preseason match. It was really a 50-50 match, but we don't necessarily play our best squad for that kind of one. But Tottenham under 21s is the Premier League reserve team that has been drawn into our group. And unfortunately, just a couple days before the start of the season, Daniel McCartney has picked up a growing strain that will see him out for roughly a month. Rossini was already injured. Just as I was going, hey, we're entering a season fairly healthy and not looking too shabby, well, it's already starting to pick up. But speaking of not looking too shabby, we really have improved during this off season. Like I said, we're just a couple days away from the start of the season now, and the development of the side is immense. I mean, all the way down through Rossini, we now have League One quality. Last season, we started with 3 guys at championship level and 3 guys at League 1 level, and everything else was League 2 level or below. Suddenly, the entire starting 11 outside of Lee Ward is League 1 level already. Our first couple of reserves are now League 1 quality, and Lee Ward is close. Very close. He's almost League 1 quality. And then, on top of that, the other reserves are all pretty dang close. I mean, they're all solid League 2 level, down to the last couple of guys anyway. Also, speaking of development and stability, the under 21s has some quality in it. I mean, we've got 5 guys at 80 or better. Christopher Joseph is actually almost better than some of the guys that are there, and could find himself, swapping out with them soon enough, but let him go ahead and lead and anchor that reserve squad, and we'll get him in fairly soon as he gets into the, mid-high 90s. We'll be happy to swap him out with one of the other guys, drop them down to the reserves, but that group as a whole is looking a lot more competitive. And also, one of the keys here is how we filled out our roster a little bit with that last intake, releasing less players than we took in for the first time in a few years, and getting ourselves back to a very balanced set of squads that's going to get a lot of playing time. So we have a first 11, we have 5 reserves, and we have just a single vacant position, and that is a third goalkeeper. Down at the U18s, we have the exact same setup. We have a first 11 and 5 reserves, and we have a single extra player, in this case, someone who is currently out injured. For the senior squad, it's a little bit bigger, but it's exactly the same as we finished the season. It's our first 11. It's not 5, but 7 subs, reserves, and then 2 additional players from there. So overall, we're looking at 3 players more than what you have at the other levels, but you have a bench that has room for 2 more spots. Glancing at that season preview, they still have Wilkinson in the first 11. Julian and Adekunle are up there, but definitely not the top players available in the league. There is better. We are not a dominant force at all, but we are now looking at 18-1 odds and mid-table. Very different than a year ago. That development side is going to also play a big role. But on top of that, there is another factor. With all of those new contracts that we sign in our off-season special, the attention has waned. Most of these guys we're not getting offers for them. In fact, there's really only one, and he is one of the guys with a new contract, but he is our best player. He's got high potential. In fact, he's got the highest potential. So he's best current, best potential, and young, just 21. Sam Julian is ready to step up to a much higher level, much bigger role, and the championship sides very much want to get him in right now as their goalkeeper. So Sam Julian's getting a ton of attention. But the good news for us is he's not upset. He is not angry for one, he's committed that whole, like, I want to leave out a free transfer, right? It's he and Wilkinson that are in that scenario, and that's part of the reason why he is getting attention. But he's not freaking out. But there's 4 Premier League championship sides that all want to pick him up. So they are throwing offer after offer after offer towards us once every couple of days. And so realistically, he should be upset. But right now, their offers are pennies on the dollar for what his value is. He's valued from 1.5 to 3.5 million, and they're offering 1.25. So even he realizes that the offer is not significant enough, and so nothing's happening with that. And we're entering a season finally with morale really high. A day ago, we were entering the season with our first 11 all healthy. We're in a different state than we've been, and let's hope that we are a comfortable mid-table team this season and can hang on to these players. There's still a month left in the transfer window, but right now it's looking very good that we're not going to lose players. It's looking very good that we're going to keep morale high. And with that development, it's looking very good that we are not going to be anywhere near a relegation battle. But it does appear that it might take another year of development before this squad is capable of playing for a promotion spot, and I'm totally fine with that. If we can go from just above relegation to mid-table to battling for promotion over a 3-year span, that's fine, especially if we can hang on to the players. And then, if we're on to the championship at that point, then we go through that cycle once again. But for now, I'm definitely happy with how things are going. I've even had enough time to not only bypass, without all the drama this summer, we've been able to not only bypass a full episode and condense it down and be ready to start the season right here, right now, but I've even had time to go in and update the mentoring groups. I've had time to go in and update each individual player's training. I've had time to go in and update the captain's roster and the check in on the tactics and make sure everything's good. Like, we're prepared for the season to come. There are some players who lack the condition or don't have the shape, and that's because I didn't play the preseason matches myself. I let the assistant manager handle it, and he did not handle it well. If it were me, everybody would be prepared or damn near prepared. Home opener, which also means stadium opener. The new Youth Factory Stadium is housing its very first game, and we have a huge crowd on hand. It's not quite a sellout, but it is damn near, and actually the biggest set of vacancies is in the away section, where they've only brought a couple hundred fans to this one. You can see we've got a very, very good crowd on hand, and we're not going to maintain that on a weekly basis, but wow, this is definitely the biggest crowd that we've ever had outside of like a promotion playoff or a tournament final or something in a larger stadium such as Wembley. They're going to come right across us, though, early with the first attempt of the game, luckily off target. Sam Julian was definitely scrambling there, and that was pretty close. The subsequent corner kick left us scrambling once again, but it opens up into a counterattack. Adekunle ends up laying it off late instead of taking the desperate pass, but nice first touch from Lee Ward. Inside to Rolston, who gets the start today. Sam Lyons finds Adekunle, chance from close range. Should have done better. It should be 1-0. Open game so far. Big opportunities. I love the purple around the pitch there. Nice on that turf. We've got just a little bit of space on the outer part. I wonder what the expansion capacity would be here. I would assume adding like corner sections into the stadium. Wilkinson, big chance, and he, unlike Adekunle, does not make the mistake, and he gets it on target, goes far post into the upper corner, beats the keeper, and we lead 1-0. We haven't even played 10 minutes, and we've already had 2 mega chances. They've already had a pretty good one themselves, though. But both of those chances came the same way. We found the exact same hole in the defense, just one on the right wing, one on the left wing. 2 mega chances. Big interception from Line. Starts counterattack. Lanahan Penreese lays it off for Adekunle. Good first touch there. Cuts inside. Chance for Ralston, but he misses the target. Team is looking much better. By the way, I really need to show you the attributes here soon, because we've seen a lot of development, but one thing I haven't shown you for quite some time, like all of last season at the very least, is just what the attributes are for our players. How good are they? We know that current ability versus that potential, and we know what is championship level, we know what is League One level, etc., etc. But actually break it down, how Sam Julian looks as goalkeeper, how Lanahan Penreese looks as striker. What is that breakdown? We won't look at all of the team, but we'll certainly give the example of a few players here soon. After a very quick start, after that goal, we nearly came through again, and then all of a sudden they settled in. But their XG is minuscule, just a 0.15, even though they've had 4 attempts, only 1 on target. It's been long-range stuff. We have clear possession, but we ended up with a very, very quiet 30 minutes after that quick start. Team is thrilled with the halftime praise. Let's see how they do here in the second half, and can they continue to control possession. So far in the early minutes as we kick off the second half, they have done exactly that. We've held the ball for the first 30 seconds, and that went out for a corner kick. Apparently the leg coming across and kicking the shin of Adekunle was not enough in it for the foul. And no deflection seen. Wilkinson, big chance after a nice cross there from Adekunle. Wilkinson went for the near corner, and keeper tipped it over. The corner kick is cleared out. Ralston recovers, finds Hassel inside. Now switching to McFadden on the other side. Adekunle is onside. Lanahan Penreese hits 2. Adekunle found a hole behind the defense. Defense was not neatly organized there. The fullback is the only one who pushed up. The other 3 were holding their line, and the fullback started to step up. Great recognition, whoever gave the ball to Adekunle, that cross there. But Adekunle held his ground, stayed right where he was, and when the fullback stepped up, ball came right to him, and then he slotted home a neat pass there. It's 2-0. Coming up on an hour played, just like that last season. We are off to a good start here, and this is wonderful in the new home. Adekunle, no flag. Thought he might have been offside there. Oh, deflected. Oh, lucky deflection, but Wilkinson with the brace, and it's 3. Huge roars from the crowd. I would love to see this translate into much larger crowds. I think we might have been offside there. I really think we were offside there. It was the defense that deflected that one. That was a shot from Ralston. Webb forces the turnover on this occasion here. We've now played an hour. Start thinking about maybe some subs here. But anyway. Yeah, that ball took a deflection and came across, but both of the guys on the left-hand side appeared to be offside, including the goal scorer, Wilkinson. Great through ball for Lanahan Penreese. Does not get that one on target, but another wonderful chance for us. We've had 5 chances and made 3 goals. We'll take that. It's a good showing. Nice poke there from Lyons. Starts the counterattack. Lanahan Penreese, heavy touch. Sharp beats his man, but Julian, they tried to chip Julian there, and he reacted well. Go ahead and start taking those set pieces to start eking out some time. We will start time wasting just mild late. We got a 3-goal lead here. We don't need to be wasting much time. Ralston finds Adekunle. It's deflected. That's a corner. We also don't need to be going positive anymore. We can switch that to balanced now. Get behind the ball a little bit more. But I see it with my own hometown team that I have the season tickets for, the Portland Thorns. I go and watch, and just in the last 2 games in a row, we get early 2-0 leads. Inside the first 15 minutes, both games, 2 games in a row against top teams in the league. Both oppositions were teams ranked in the top top four at the time of the game and of the match. I guess we're in England right now, even though I'm obviously... Whoa, full time? Holy crap. We just had a half hour just skip on by very quickly. I never went through the subs. I was telling a brief story at the hour mark, and a few seconds into it, poof, game done. All we did was go neutral, and apparently that just neutralized the game. It was still all us. They did nothing all game long. Total control. The XG matched the goals. The performance matched. They had one attempt in the entire second half. It was on target, and it only added 0.11 XG because they were at 0.15 at half. So, dang, nice game. Possession, they had a little bit more in the second half, but that would make sense when you're down 2, down 3. You've got to, try to get on the front foot. You've got to try to get back in, but even then, they couldn't do much. Great ratings from literally everyone except for Woody Ward. He was the only one who had a little bit of a rough day. Anyway, 2 games, back-to-back, 2-0 leads inside the first 15 minutes. Both tactically, the team is high pressing, very aggressive, forcing a lot of turnovers. In fact, they lead the league in forcing turnovers in the final third area more by a significant margin over anybody else. They have a good organized high press. But you can't do that for 90 minutes, especially with 3 games in the period of a week. There's squad rotation to an extent, yes, but there's also fatigue by the third game of 3 in the span of a week. Winning all 3, by the way. But in those last 2, with those early leads, the other team's got to get on the front foot. They've got to start attacking. But for half an hour in this last one, that high press continues. And so my team, the Thorns, remain on the front foot. But after half an hour, that fatigue factor starts to set in, and they sit back into a lower block. Instantly, Washington, who was not in the game at all up to that point, has a chance inside the first minute of us backing off on the press. They have another chance 2 minutes later. They have another chance. All of their first half chances came in that last 15 minutes of the half. Fortunately, it was still 2-0. Come out the second half, same thing. Carries on. Until, finally, with just 10 minutes left in the entire game, after they've sat back into that lower block and they have not pressed for this entire time, Washington ekes out a goal. Cuts the lead 2-1. But they instantly turn the press back on. They start taking the ball to the corner to kill the game off. And not only do they outpossess Washington during this stretch, there's no highlight. There's no highlight from that last 10 games, plus 10 minutes of stoppage time that incurred after that. So for 20 minutes, they absolutely just wipe the game out by high pressing and not allowing any sort of rhythm to build, no space for them to work with, under constant pressure, turnover, and then possess the ball into the corner for long periods of time, throw in, corner, and the game's gone, just like that. They needed to use that press more than they did, especially in the second half. I get it, in the first half you can't go for the full 45. At some point, that high press, that attacking nature, that even offensive and defensive high tempo can only be maintained so long, especially third game in 7 days. Only so much you can do there. But second half, they really needed to bring it back out at about the hour mark or 70-minute mark. At some point there, they really needed to start putting that press back on because of how effective it was in disrupting the rhythm. They could have and should have won that game 2-0, but hey, they still won that game. And won 3 in a row. 4 in a row, actually. Stadium seats 15,500 or close to 16,000. We had 14,096 there, shattering our club record. Our previous attendance record was 3,500. We have not played at home, properly home, our hometown, in 3 years, 4 years. Great welcome home. It also shatters our gate receipt record from a previous record of 150K, and that's FA Cup. You can get away with charging a bit more. That's $350K. Massive increase on the income side of things. The offers for Sam Julian are starting to creep up a little bit more, and it's only been like 4 days from where we were not topping $1 million, or about 1.4 was the maximum with incentives. Now we're looking at 1.4 to 2.5 for the range, still well short of the 1 million, but we might have a problem on our hands as Luton get quite interested. Yeah, we have not seen a drastic change in season tickets. We went from $12.29 a year ago to $13.40 for the coming year. So that slight increase in reputation after not an abysmal year, but after a pretty poor year, did not see a drastic increase for us. Barely more than 100 additional season tickets have been sold this year. That's still, in terms of percentage-wise, that's still almost a 10% increase from where we had been. The entirety of last season, we had, I think, one or maybe two players reach the league of the team of the week all season. Just one or two appearances in team of the week. First game of the season, and 4 players make the team of the week. Five, if you count Thornhill. That is our Thornhill, I think. Yes, it is. Mr. 255 appearances, 35 goals, attacking mid, Thornhill, who now plays as a striker. And apparently that's a new change, because he's only got 3 goals in 56 appearances for Stockport. His finishing is just 7. We should be scouting him still. I actually haven't visited our shortlist in a very long time. Ethan McLaren, world class at PSG right now. Not even for sale, but his value is like crazy high. He's making 19 million a season. His first touch, dribbling, he's got a lot of 17s and 16s. Very, very good ratings. Jumping reach, long throws, tackling his only weaknesses. Brody Bick is at Newcastle. Ashley Jones at Reading currently. Sam Brooks is at West Brom. McDonald is at Lincoln. Schmizek at Swindon Town. Quintafera is at Bournemouth. Penrice at Leicester in the Premier League. And Thornhill currently down here with us at Stockport in League One. I know that there are others, quite a few others that are missing. I might have to track them all down here soon. All right, it's time for the complete list of where are they now. So McLaren, we already know. PSG, Bick, Donnell Traynor at Stoke these days, worth 44 million. Connor Mortland at Coventry. A lot of our former players in the championship, with the occasional at those higher levels. So you can see the difference between staying with us long term, where we have a few guys that are at that championship level, lots of League One levels having stayed within the program. Those who got out got bumped up to higher leagues earlier on. For the most part, the only difference between that and us is they're 1 tier higher, which we have players that are of that quality. But a lot of these guys tend to be like dominating their sides. They are the key players, but certainly not all. Like Sumahoro, I'm guessing, is not somebody who has played a ton. We don't have a recent scouting report on him, but he's worth 16 million, 22 years of age, surplus to requirements. So he is looking like he's going to get sold here pretty soon. Davidson at Luton Town. Ryan Gordon, Preston, League One. He is one of our opponents this season. Ollie Atkins is a free agent. Oh, man. Can we bring him back? If he's totally unavailable, can we cheese this? Let me know in the comments below whether we should bring Ollie Atkins back into the side. Now, I know we can't sign him as we have the permanent transfer ban, but he is one of our players, and if nobody else wants him, I want him. I'll take Ollie Atkins back. I'd be happy to have Ollie Atkins. Are you kidding me? I guess it's just a year ago that we let him go because he wanted too much money. He was released on a free transfer last year because we couldn't afford him. He was one of our making 600K guys. And literally no one has picked him up since then because he was too damn expensive. We have room in the budget. I think we could bring him back in for a reasonable sum of like probably 300K. He's sat as a free agent for a year. Like you know he's got to be coming down on what that is. I would sign him on 300K 2-year deal, basic incentives as you would, and just bring him in manually. Tell me what you think. Should we bring Atkins back into the side? I think there's no reason not to under the circumstances. Kamara in Guinea, Dan Kitching in La Liga, Bertielli at Middlesbrough, Tom Fish at Peterborough. We have Mildenhall, Kasungo Matumbo at in Congo, and Grigg at League 2 for Colchester. Is he playing for them? Not much, but he was at Malden and Tiptree before that. Had 42 appearances, just 51 conceded. So he did put up good numbers there, and it looks like he's just moved up to League 2. It's been a few years. He's their backup. He's used to that role. Played for us way too much. Never, ever should have had 88 appearances for our side. He was starter for 1 year out of necessity, and as a backup, he got way too much time due to too many injuries. But there you have it. That's our Where Are They Now? And definitely let me know on Ollie Atkins whether we should cheese him back into a contract back on the club. Not a low-paying contract. I think 300K is probably a value contract for what he is. But I am interested in bringing him back, and we would do it, before the transfer window closes. League Cup kicking off against Wrexham. Pretty tough draw for first round. Like, can't get much tougher than a promotion favorite from our league in the first round of this. But it is what it is. We're at least at home, and we're seeing a small, minor competition. What sort of empty space we have. Lots and lots of available purple seats on this one, but I'm hoping our league matches will definitely be somewhere in between this small of a crowd and the fullness of that season opening match. Nice pass there. Big chance. Wilkinson. He goes far post and gets it again, just like the last game, and we take a 1-0 lead here in the 10th minute. Wrexham, of course, at this point, a decade into this, is completely unrecognizable. None of the names that we know are there. The one thing we do know is the team went from National League, where this playthrough started, right? FM24 went from National League to League One, just like they have done in real life. Difference is they did it in just 2 years in real life. I think it took them a little bit longer here, but they are a very stable League One side and getting close to becoming a championship side. Well, anyway, we have a couple of changes to the squad for this match, as I'm not taking it that seriously. A little seriously. I mean, I brought out decent players for this one. FA Cup against a weaker team, we might do a bit more squad rotation than this, but as good as Wrexham is, they can do that as they equalize here in the 24th minute. The couple of changes is, instead of Ralston, who did not have the fitness anyway, he was not properly prepared for the season. Oh, man, that's a bad goal to give up. Julian should save that one from that far out, especially a ball dragging on the ground like that. That was a low shot, or at least it looked like a low shot. Did it get up in the air a little bit? Oh, yeah, it did. It didn't hit the ground until just as it crossed the line. So it had just an ounce of lift to it, but that was only their second attempt, and they've got 2 goals. Only 3 shots on target, and all 3 have found the back of the net so far. We've outshot them, we've out-XG'd them, and we are trailing. Adekunle, nice cut inside. Huge save right there. That's the first save of the game here just before halftime. It should be 2-2. Wow, again! Gosh. Is that a Conquo in goal? Certainly looks like it. Man, phenomenal work there between the sticks. McFadden finds it. Adekunle. Lanahan Penrese, the ball to him is cleared out. We get a chance with it for Lions, and we've already had 7 attempts. I like the effort there. I like the idea of trying to play that through ball. It shouldn't lead to anything dangerous the other way. Counterattacking wise, it certainly didn't, but they possessed well enough to get a chance. And finally, missed the target a couple times. 4 attempts now, just the 2 on target still. Julian has yet to make a save in this game, and I'm disappointed with that, but McFadden, nice forcing the turnover there. Good possession, nice pass out. Wilkinson keeps it. Wiley gets the start today. That's one of those changes. And then our last guy in the senior squad playing, getting the start today. So that's the 2 big changes. Otherwise, it's the first 11. Archie Jones was a bit tired. It's a midweek game. It's Wednesday, so we did not get a full week rest or anything, and we'll have another game on the weekend. So with that back-to-back games in a week span, wanted to get that at least a little bit of squad rotation. Very disappointing when we've outshot them essentially 2-1. We've out XG'd them by a huge margin, 1-6-2. Like, huge gap. 0.2. We've outpossessed, we've outplayed, and we trail. Second half underway. Lions on a yellow. I might want to bring him off. He's a little tired too. We won't wait too long. I'm surprised that didn't get a yellow, but I guess half just started. Hassel. What in the world was that? He's under no pressure whatsoever, and he just boots the ball up the field to no one and turns it over. That is abysmal possession play right there. Dreaded pass to no one. Dreaded pass straight to the other team. The only thing worse is to do that inside. Let's go ahead and make the change on Lines. He's not having a good day anyway. Not that anybody is. We'll get Christopher Joseph in, which is our top reserve player. So we'll give him his first ever appearance. Or first this season anyway. He might have had an appearance last year. I didn't have to give a number for him. I already had one, so apparently I've at least put him on the bench before. Part of this is, regardless of scoreline, I don't want to overplay these guys, so where I can, we'll get some rest. Plain gets a huge opportunity. Sent it straight down the middle, and it was much too easy a save. Joseph gets a chance, but it looks like he got a lot of grass on that one, got a lot of turf. Attempted through ball there for Adekunle, did not make it through. Redknapp gives it up, but gets it back. Joseph finds Hewitt. Hewitt in space, bangs it off the bar, and somehow that doesn't own goal off the keeper. Amazing as it bounces off him and somehow we should be leading this game. We should be winning this game. Only 3 shots on target, though, is a definite factor in why we're not. Adekunle missed that entirely on his own and missed it bad. He really caught it wrong. It looks like he caught all laces, but it looks like he got outside of the boot just a little bit, and because it was a left foot, and it tailed off to the left pretty bad. Oh, Flynn brings down Wiley, and it is a penalty. Clear foul there. And Hewitt draws us level here in the 79th minute. Nice. Good penalty from Phil Hewitt. Keeper guesses correctly and was already moving before the shot ever even takes place. He's already heading right for it, but Phil Hewitt drills it past him. Leonard, big chance from close range. The ball does its job, puts it out for a corner. And Atkins. Not that Atkins, I would assume. Well, it's not that Atkins. But once again, let me know. Do you think I should sign Ollie Atkins? We don't need like 30 comments on it. Just, 1 or 2 solid comments. Click that like button if you, on the comment, if you like it. Click that like button on the video if you would as well. Nice. Thank you, Woodwork. What a save from the post. Keeps us level, and stoppage time. And it looks like we're heading to penalties. Yes, we are. The dreaded penalty. Oh, we've not been good at these. We're not great at these. We only have a single player on the team who is a 10 plus. Luckily, this is not a big deal if we lose this, but okay. So Hewitt, Adekunle, Wilkinson, definitely those are your top three. Lee Ward is a very distant four. I think Chris Webb is probably our next best option, at least combination, or maybe Joseph. Let's give Joseph a chance and not have him go fifth. We will move him up the order a little bit, bring Wilkinson on later, and then from there we'll get into like Webb and Hassel. 9 penalty takers are motivated. It's much harder to motivate them in that brief talk, but Hewitt goes right down the middle. Wow, what a confident take there. I hate going right down the middle, but okay. Julian with the save! What a start. It's 1-0. On the penalty decider here, Adekunle is stepping up. I love how the pacing is so much better. As Adekunle hits the post but gets it in. Man, that post has been our friend. It's O'Flynn, but he's going to put that one into the upper corner. It's 2-1. They desperately needed that one to stay in this thing, but here is our weak man. It's Joseph, and it's saved. He took the let's just get it on target approach, and Julian, if he was patient, that was an easy save. I hate that they just dive, they just guess, and even when you guess right, there's a big chance that you're going to fail. If you stay put down the middle, you've got such a great chance to make a save, and it's 3-3. It's 3-3 here after 4 kicks. Wilkinson stepping up. The pressure is on, and it looks like we might be done here as Wilkinson. Did he miss that, or did the keeper save it? Hard to tell which it was. It was not a good take. There was zero power on it, and that was a pretty damn easy save there. And Julian makes a big save. It keeps us alive. It's not done yet. Chris Webb stepping up for the 6th take. Zero power on these, but see how Bryn is just patient and how easy that save is? Yes, you're going to struggle with the corners, but the corners involve accuracy, and that's it. We lose 3-4. We're out of this thing. A lot of poor penalties taken in that one, and they had a patient keeper where Sam Julian just kept guessing. He did make a couple stops, but only when guessing correctly. We dominate the game, lose on penalties. Such is life. That's going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Let me know about Ollie Atkins. What should we do? Do we bring him back or leave him a free agent for others to pick him up whenever, however? Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.